Please welcome Jeffrey Miller, Manager of Behavioral Change Effort for the Walt Disney Company.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm a Disney guy. I have no business being here, right? And on top of that, I'm a business guy, not an engineer or anything else. So I really don't have anything to talk about. So that's it for me. Thanks. Everybody having a good time? This is great, right? Let's acknowledge everybody that put this together. This is really terrific. Absolutely. I was talking to Hedel. It sounds like most of this was done by volunteering and kind of in a part-time effort. So this is really terrific. Well, I'm not used to this voice of God thing. Can we shut this off? All right, so my name is Jeff Miller. Yeah, I'm in charge of the Jedi mind tricks that we're trying to play at Disney. But what I'm really going to talk about is I spent the last 6 years in our business development and strategic planning, kind of looking at where we go with our theme parks globally, how we grow, how we get better, how we get bigger. Hard to believe, right? So I'm going to talk about the business of innovation. What I'm going to focus on is forwarding an idea through a matrix organization. Hopefully I'm going to be able to tie a lot of what we heard today back to this. So let's jump in with a blank screen. There we go. This is the first thing. I think we heard a lot about this morning. Everybody owns creativity. It's not a siloed effort. Just because your title doesn't say you're creative doesn't mean that you don't have the responsibility or the right to be creative. That's absolutely the fact at Disney, and we do that. I was strategic planning, but we engaged everybody, and I think that's part of it, right? Build these teams like we heard Eric talk about at Publix. A lot of multi-diversity, multi-use teams, multi-function teams that kind of bring exposure and diversity from all different angles. That's so critical in terms of forwarding an idea, or at least proving the fact that it can work. Second thing, this is suicide for an innovation forum, right? Think inside the box. That's not what you want to hear, right? But I think what this ties to is what we've heard about this morning, that there are realities. And while we can push the envelope of certain things, at the end of the day, in order to get this thing off the ground, you have to play by some form of rules. So let's take one step back and say, you need to challenge these rules. I love it when people talk about how we've always done it this way, or that's the way it goes, or this magical, invisible hand that just kind of guides us. You need to push against that. But economics, physics, there's certain realities that we just can't seem to just escape or just do blue sky innovation around. We really need to stick inside some form of box. But that doesn't mean that the walls of that box aren't malleable and we can't reshape it the way we need it to be. I want to spend some time on this because I think this is what Disney does better than anybody. Bob's going to argue that because he's going to talk about Universal Orlando, but come on, he was a Disney guy too, so he brought all this good ideas over to Universal. So telling the story, we heard a lot about this morning, and this is so important. If you can't tell the story, it's not a good idea, and you probably shouldn't do it. I know that's kind of an argumentative statement, but it's true. If you can't sell it, if you can't tell it, if you can't connect with somebody, then you're not going to get support for it, and you're not going to forward this idea. So I think storytelling is something that, who doesn't want to hear the story of NASA? All that video, that just kind of grates on you. But we have videos just like that for Disney that talk about how, we do nothing other than theme parks, and we build cartoons or create cartoons, and it's not family entertainment. And that's, we keep going back to videos like that and consumer research to just keep our drive where it needs to be, and so we can continue to evolve and engage our story. So this is one that I think we spent a little bit of time on. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background of what I do. In strategic planning, most of what I've done, most of what I've worked on, we won't see for another 20 years. So that's kind of exciting, but at the same time, I can't point to a lot. So when we think about storytelling, we think about simplifying the message, right? I mean, that's what it really comes down to, is data isn't sexy. Okay, so let that settle for a second. This was something my mentor told me, because I was trying to really focus on, hey, look at this. We can make a lot of money if we do this way, or if we buy this company, we can get this. But just proving data or just publishing data isn't the sexy part. What really gets people motivated is when you can captivate them, when you can really touch them on a personal level and say, this is how it impacts you. Sorry, do you want me to pose? All right. But I think that's the take home here is find the connection. Go get it to its simplest form. If it's about life change, if it's about finding a way to get away from something, or whatever your storyline is. I'm kind of thinking back to our big cartoons that we love to talk about. It's about connecting. It's about finding that place to bring people into the project, into the idea, into your solution that you're creating. And I think that's where storytelling really comes alive. This is kind of the continuation of that. Once you've got your story, once you've got your team, once you've got your idea, and all this is starting to flow through, and you watch it, you hand it off to somebody, and they forget about it. They don't tell the story. They don't do this. Your solution, your idea, your concept, your project just dies instantly because people lose the story. It goes back to data. And then it becomes a numbers game, or we value engineer all our story or all our great elements out of it. But if you keep that story alive and just serve as a champion or find a champion or get as many people to understand the story as you possibly can, you create champions for your project. You want to call it a political game, that's fine, but it really is about generating interest and keeping that going. But find a way to champion the message, whether it's you or everybody around you, tell everybody the story. And this is something I think we all have in common, both Disney and NASA. We don't get to sign our work as creatives. I've had an opportunity to work on some really interesting projects, but nobody will ever know about it. But I know that I've contributed to a legacy that's bigger than my own. It's bigger than signing my own work. And I think when we think about NASA, it's the same thing. I really want to be a comedian someday. I think that would be a great career for me. But so I was thinking about how I could connect Disney and NASA and kind of come back to this idea of legacy. You know, in Disney and NASA, when Walt was around and the space program was really getting around, they had a lot of connection. There was a lot of connection points. And I think the last piece is, you know, we tried to go to Mars once too. I don't know if you remember that. It was a couple years ago, but we crashed and burned. Apparently, Mars didn't need moms after all, and so, you know, we learned our lesson. But I think the legacy we do want to leave is one of great storytelling, great placemaking, and just this idea of being a holistic family entertainment company. So I think if there's anything you take forward, it's delay that gratification to the legacy that you get to leave behind. So with that, thank you very much.